Good morning, Ninja Nation. Sandy C is back with some more uncommon sense, and today I'm talking about food prep, and I've got money-saving tips, time-saving tips, fuel-saving tips, stress-saving tips. I mean, this is the easy button, okay? Most of us aren't farmers. Most of us don't have experience in growing anything. Most of us don't have experience in a lot of actual food prepping skills. It's just the way we were programmed or not brought up, okay? Most of us are in towns. We're in cities. We don't have big sheds. We don't have big yards. We don't have a ton of storage space. So we've got to be smart with our money and how we prep. Because if you go crazy and go overboard, then you got no money to take advantage of the financial opportunity coming. And if you want to know about that financial opportunity, go follow the Economic Ninja channel, okay? But beyond that, these are quick, easy tips and some pitfalls, things to avoid, because there are a lot of shinies. Ooh, shiny. Ooh, shiny. That look good. Well, that's fun. A little dog hair on this. So, we're going to go down into Sandy C's cellar. Sandy C cellar. Oh, that's fun. Say that 5 times. Sandy C cellar, Sandy C cellar, Sandy C cellar, Sandy C. Nah, that's easy. Who cares? All right, let's go. All right. Man, I'm in Florida. You know I ain't got no cellar around here. It's just what I have. Okay? So, let's do this thing. Get that water out the way. All right, the best things and ways to prep. Okay, we've all heard, rice. That was beans. This is rice. Rice, beans, that kind of stuff. And we've even been learning how to can. Ooh, this is canned chicken. It's delicious. But it's all wrong. What's that mean? It's not wrong, okay? But what I'm going to talk about is the easy option. My canned chicken versus, somebody else's canned chicken. Now, remember, none of this stuff I'm endorsed by or anything like this. This is just, we're on this journey together, and I've learned something pretty awesome about prepping. And I've noticed some of you in the comments have actually picked up on this and commented on it in some videos. So I thank you for that. This is awesome. We're all learning together and sharing knowledge. This versus this. Now, this is good till March of 25. This is good, well, indefinitely, as long as I kind of keep it cool, up to 15 years if I keep it at a nice temperature. But that's a little harder to do, And honestly, if it's that bad that I've got to, I'd have to prep 20,000 of these to get 15 years out of them. You know what I mean? So it kind of, all right, so here we go. This is what I mean. These, you can get them broken down for about like $1. This darn jar, empty right now, if you can find them, if you're good, are $1. Okay? So in packaging, you got your food in here. Whereas this, you just have the packaging. You still have to go get the raw food. You still have to cook it. And it's roughly about 4 hours of, fuel and stuff. Yeah, cook time's about 60 to 90 minutes, depending on what size. But there's a lot of fuel involved. There's a lot of effort. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of prep. This is the easy button. Is it as delicious? Hell no. But we're talking about, an emergency situation, emergency store of food. How do you get the most bang for your buck? And I'm going to tell you right now and just make it quick and easy. Save yourself the headache and trouble. Okay, well, this is where you want to start. You want to start with, your canned tuna, your already canned chicken, and, cans. I just did an awesome shopping thing. Know your local retailer when they have their sales. And I go through and I date everything. Best until these dates. And then when I put them away in my pantry, I'll organize them by date. Okay? But these are all pre-made and cooked. When it comes down to it, if and when the S hits the fan, you and another, this can be a daily meal. Okay, granted, you're not going to look like Mr. Universe or anything like that. You're not going to be super thriving, but you're not going to be starving. And this is the equivalent of about $2 a day for 2 people. So $1 per person per day. I mean, come on. We're not living like kings or queens, but that's pretty sweet. That's how you start, okay? That's how you start. You get into it. And these are good for, well, till 2025. So we got 3 years on them. It's sweet. All right. Same with the tuna. And here's the kicker. This stuff is ready to eat right out of the can. If I have to, I can pop this sucker open. Look, it's even got an easy top. And eat this raw right out of the can. If it comes down to it, I can pop this open, eat it raw right out of the can. Okay, when it comes to the difference is, you know, besides these being pink and these being black, is with these raw beans, there's a lot of prep to them, okay? So when you first get your raw beans, you want to throw them in your freezer for up to 3 days to kill any potential larvae inside. Already been done here, okay? Also, when you go to cook these, there's a soak period, okay? You've got to put these in water and soak them for many, many, many hours. Typically, they just do it overnight. And you got to season it and all that kind of crap. Otherwise, they are ultra bland. Okay, that's another step. These, you can even buy them with the seasoning and stuff in them. But they're already prepped. They've already been soaked. They're ready. Okay, here's the other thing. We're not even done with these yet. So after you've frozen them to kill the larvae, you've done all that. You've put them in a more solid container. This already has its container. There's another one. We've soaked it. Now we've used water, precious water to us. Now we still have to cook them. Beans take a while to cook, so then there's fuel involved. Then you're putting out a scent if, you know, if stuff really is that bad and people are zombieing around looking for smoke signals for some food, okay? So there is a lot of fuel and time and stuff that goes into this stuff. Yes, you can get a ton of it. I do also recommend this. I have some other videos on these, how to prep them. But step one should be this, especially if you're in town, you're in a city, you know, you're like most of us. Get the prep already done stuff, because if it comes down to it, pop the top and you can eat it, okay? This requires a lot more processing. This wouldn't be ready for 8 hours. This is ready in 8 seconds, probably less, okay? That is a big takeaway here, okay? Same with, you know, your rice and your pasta. Yes, great value. I recommend just keeping some of those. But, you know, if you can get your, we got tomatoes and canned vegetables and all this kind of stuff, it's all ready. Remember, I'm not a dietitian, folks. This isn't, you know, and we're not eating to become, you know, Mr. Universe or anything like that. We're eating to survive without going hungry. And for a lot of us in America, realistically, it's really to protect our purchasing dollar. Food's going to get scarce, and we all know it's supply and demand. If supply goes down, the demand for food is going to stay the same, or increase or decrease with population, but the demand's there. So if the supply drops, the price skyrockets. You've already seen it in stores. So what I'm doing, other than securing my food, so I make sure I do not go hungry, I'm also securing my wallet, my cash, because I already know, because I've already seen it happening, what canned foods are doing, how much they're going up. They're having a hard time getting the actual material, the tin, to make the cans, okay? There's a lot of supply chain things going on. So you want to go out there and get it now, and then I also recommend going the pre-canned route. It's a money-saving route in terms of you don't have all the prep and things. You know, these beans, I got to put them in these extra containers to protect them and ensure they live that long. All that kind of stuff. And the biggest thing is the fuel. The fuel, the fuel, the fuel. No fuel, tons of fuel to make. Okay? When it comes down to it, fuel might be a hard thing to get. So when you prep, you want to prep with a minimalist idea, okay? So when I look at all this stuff in front of me, all these canned, all this stuff, none of that requires me to do anything other than to open it and eat, okay? Open and eat. Whereas this section over here, there's a lot of prep involved. There's a lot of prep I've already done to these beans. There's a lot that goes into doing this canned chicken. And, you know, rice is easy, but, you know, I got to spend 10 to 20 minutes boiling it. So there is some fuel there, and you need water, whereas everything else is 100% ready to go. Even some chicken broth, that's great for you. You know, if you need a less sodium diet, they offer less sodium or no sodium. So all your options are there. So go check your local grocery sales. See when they have sales. My local Southeastern grocer starts their sales on Wednesday, and they have a ton of stuff. Canned goods, 6 for $5, 6 for $4, 5 for $5, depending on what it is. And I go fill a shopping cart, okay? And I know I'm set for a long time. I've got 100 cans of food in front of me that were about $100. That's pretty sweet, okay? So prepping doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to know a lot of skills. Now, learning skills are great, but learning the theory of all this stuff is the best. Get the whole broad picture, okay? So if you're prepping, you're new to prepping, start with canned goods. Start loading up on them. Every time you go shopping, buy a few extra, okay? And then if you get to a more advanced stage, then you can get into this stuff. But then, when you do get into that stuff, you've got to think about alternate forms of fuel, how to cook it. And I'll cover that in other videos of alternate forms of fuel if we run out of, if and when the power grid goes out, if and when, you know, it's a little too crazy to fire up a grill outside because there's too many starving zombies after it. I'll cover all that in other videos and more basic prep. You know, we want to start at the building blocks. There's a ton of fantastic channels out there that have this advanced prepping and all that. But for the majority of us, it's out there. Those are goals. Those are goals to strive to rather than steps we can take now. So Ninja Nation, YouTube, I want to show you the steps you can take now that are easy. You can do it. You don't have to learn anything new. Doesn't cost a whole bunch of money. There aren't things involved. Because that's the other thing. This few $100s worth of equipment you have to buy just to make your first jar of this stuff. Okay? So, there's nothing with this. You don't even need a pot, pan, or fire. You can eat it right out of here. Might not be the best, but you can. And that's the point. When it comes down to it, that's what you want. Alright guys, I'll leave you with that, Ninja Nation and YouTube. Please hit the like. Please subscribe if you want some more easy stepping stones to prepping. And please, as always, leave your comments below. We've been learning a lot together. At least I can say I've learned a lot from you. I hope the same. Alright guys, Sandy C is out.